So the server meshing is the last key piece, because that will allow us to have a truly massively populated universe of players as well as AI, and having servers that dynamically scale up and down to take care of the processing needs of that. And so from our standpoint, in terms of what we would think is the experience when you guys can sit in and play the game day after day and not worry about it getting wiped, not worrying about, oh, I'm going to do something for a day or two and there's no point because they're going to reset the system. When we get to full persistence and server meshing, that's our marker. And sure, after that, we've got planets to do and star systems, and we're going to have continual feature development. But this is an online live game, and so for us, we don't have a particular viewpoint in terms of, oh, that's it. This is where we finish it, and we don't do any more work. It's like literally, we kind of view, as long as you guys want to live in this universe, every 3 months, we're giving you a build, and here you are. And here's a bit more, and here's a bit more, and here's a bit more. And when we get to the full persistence and server meshing, I think at that point, that's when we're not going to be resetting the servers. It's when it will be an ongoing, living, breathing game.
Hey everyone, the Eradicator here, and in today's video we will talk about the minimal viable product that Star Citizen FF 1.0 is going to be. I know that some people out there are going to say that this video is coming out way too early and that I shouldn't be talking about that this early, but this is where I disagree, because as we are nearing the completion of the last two remaining pillars of the game that are Star Citizen FF 3.18's persistent entity streaming, which will bring full persistence to the game, and Star Citizen FF 4.0's server meshing, which will allow the binding of several servers into a single instance and smooth transition from server to server, allowing for the introduction of new star systems. We are now starting to hear from the mouth of top senior developers the word beta, which of course has a whole different meaning than the whole alpha stage that we're in, as alpha is all about bringing in new features while beta is about polishing them. What this means is that it is very likely that by now Cloud Imperial Games have already pinpointed the core features that they want to get done and then polished in an upcoming beta phase post-Alpha 4.0 for them to then officially release Star Citizen in a 1.0 version that would be its minimal viable product that would then of course be extended with additional content and features, just like for example what we've seen with No Man's Skies, or also what Chris said in CitizenCon 2018 as we could hear in the introduction. So, what could this minimal viable product be made of then? Well, first, I think that it would have to include a stable version of all of the tech that will be required for it to exist, including the incoming persistent eternity streaming and server meshing, as Chris said in 2018 back then, and it's always been the plan ever since. I think that the key here is really stability, as the last thing that they will want to do post-launch is a full wipe that will erase the player's progression. Such actions are indeed required now in Alpha's phase, and it might be necessary in Beta to simulate perhaps how launch would eventually happen, but it would cause an immense backlash if it ever happened after Star Citizen reaches version 1.0. Next, I think that also we would need more professions as well, as a couple of must-have occupations are currently missing from the game. For example, I have long advocated for the inclusion of passenger transport, which I really think is a must in any space simulation. It would also be fantastic to get a very first basic version of crafting. Say, for example, you buy some materials that will allow you to create a product that you'll be able to resell with some added value. These could be, for example, processed food or medical supplies or distilled spirits, which are commodities that traders are very familiar with now. Next, I would also like smuggling to perhaps play a larger role, especially with the arrival of Paro and then Nyxt. We could imagine that some of the items that could be found over there would then be sold at a very high price on the Stanton black market, finally making the high risk, high reward type of game in Star Citizen becoming true. Now, then, I think that the law system would have to finally be working as intended with the desired features. For example, something that we've heard for a long time from Cloud Imperial Games are how the armistice zones will eventually be removed one day because the game will be able to maintain the law and order by itself, either with the use of armies of NPCs or with the use of anti-air and anti-personnel facilities at outposts. The law system would also have to be polished enough so that bugs or unintended situations that can cause an accidental crime stat get gradually eradicated. Crime stat in Star Citizen will have some serious repercussion in the future. It will potentially alter your reputation with certain groups or certain mission givers, and then it might cut your access to certain missions too. It will be all the more frustrating if you would have nothing to do with those punishments. The improvements mentioned in this section, however, do require server meshing for better server performance and full persistence to maintain the status of the NPCs and ships involved in the action. Since these are coming soon, however, we can imagine that those new features regarding law enforcement will also come as well throughout the year 2023. Last, I think that we need a proper interface and intuitive game interactions, which is not really the case right now, but we do know that this is something that Cloud Imperial Games are working on, for example, for Squadron 42, and that eventually it will benefit the persistent universe as well. The original interface in Star Citizen was built in Flash, but has been gradually replaced with Building Blocks, which is their in-house interface system developed by Cloud Imperial Games for the game. So far, we have seen kiosks being replaced, but there's still a lot of work to do there, especially, for example, the star map or the ship multifunctional displays or just global interactions with the game. We've seen in the recent episode of Inside Star Citizen the direction that it looks like Cloud Imperial Games are going to be taking to completely revolutionize how we will interact with the universe, and I think that it definitely looks like a step forward compared to what we have today. But anyway, guys, that is all for this video, and this is what I think is going to be needed here for us to have a minimal viable product for Star Citizen, which eventually will become Star Citizen 1.0. I definitely think that we're much closer to that point than ever, but it's still gonna take some time and definitely at least a couple of years. At least it's wonderful to see that we can hear the devs now starting gradually more and more to talk about beta, just like Todd Peppy did again one more time in the last episode of Inside Star Citizen. But let me know in the comment section down below, guys, how do you guys envision the minimal viable product? What do you guys think about it? Well, if you answer the question and subscribe to the channel, well, you can get to win an Envil Centurion with LTI. Also, feel free to join our Discord channel. It's free for everybody to join there. We've got a lovely community and a video sharing contest where if you enter, you can get to win 2 more Centurions with LTI, or you can also be a Patreon member or YouTube John member. Any help over there is much appreciated, and a big shout out to everybody who supports the channel via these websites. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Big shout out to Captain Stead, Geek Citizen, Eric Old, Dr. Fabin, and DJ Dunn. It's the Eradicator. I will see you guys later.